Kia ora whānau.
Bula. Yawe.
My name's Luke. I'm here in sunny, beautiful Sydney. As it's a worldwide fresh this season, fresh from the people, for the people.
Hi, I'm Laisane Green, and we're at Mac, and you are watching Fresh.
Vivian here from Salem, Oregon, and you're watching Fresh.
Carolina here in Lincolnshire, England.
This is Teresa and Daniel from Nandi, Fiji.
Dawnraid, we are rated a 4th international school here in Metro, and you are watching Fresh!
This is what's coming up on your show today.
The Malu is special to us as Samoans because it connects us to our identity.
We've always patrolled as a family, I guess because we had one ka'awale.
I don't want a white person to call me a fob, like, ever.
I don't know what you want, but what I do have is a very particular set of skills.
There are many things that Generation Z stands. Siren beats, TikTok trends, Instagram filters, social justice movements, and knowing that we're the best generation. This generation! Just jokes. Just jokes. Ofaku to our auntie and uncle boomers. But there is one thing that we do not stand. It is the evil villain of our generation of heroes. The climate crisis. Climate change means more heat waves, flooding, storms, and drought that can cause deaths, injuries, famine, displacement, disease outbreaks, and psychological disorders. Coastal flooding is expected to worsen due to sea level rise unless sea defenses are upgraded. At the core of the crisis is people. Therefore, it is everyone's responsibility to take action on it. You get a responsibility, you get a responsibility, you get a responsibility. Even though climate change will eventually impact everyone on the planet, it is already impacting small islands. Sea levels have risen at nearly 4 times the global average rate in some parts of the Western Pacific. The Pacific is estimated to contribute only 0.03% of global emissions, but are bearing the harshest consequences of the crisis, although many Pacific Islanders are fighting for the survival of their land. In 2014, 30 Pacific climate activists said "Lash go" and paddled out into Newcastle, Australia, in traditionally built canoes, blocking coal ships from passing into the biggest coal port in the world. They did this to highlight the devastating impact the fossil fuel industry has on their island homes. For one day, 10 huge coal ships were blockaded by 5 hand-carved canoes. The endeavour can never. This is just one of the thousands of times Indigenous people have led the fight for climate justice and have been at the forefront of demanding global action on climate. Climate change is everyone's problem. Take action on it now. You, yes you, watching me right now, you can start by lowering your own carbon footprint and becoming more environmentally conscious.
Talofa lava, my name is Charlene Tidrow and you're watching Fresh TV.
We've had too many drownings, way too many drownings.
Sadly, the stats, for Pacific, in particular males are not great. We feature high there, in particular Auckland.
I've been fortunate enough to only do it once, save people out on the water, because the primary role of a lifeguard is to prevent.
I am just making sure our stuff is together, but everyone's just setting up for our patrol. IRB, flag, making sure the gear is pretty much good to go.
Awesome.
Okay.
That's us. I'll see you guys down at the beach.
All right.
Yeah, so what these guys are doing here is just seeing the safest place to set up.
Just had to test the waters, just make sure it's safe for everyone to swim in, you know, set up the flags. Looking for any rips, currents, anything to, you know, cause harm, hazardous.
Everyone else is like getting the tower ready. We leave our tubes and our fins down here, so if there's no IRBs available, we just come down here from the tower, grab our tubes and fins and just recap it into the water.
It'll be pretty much like this the whole day.
Yeah.
Only the brave will come out on a day like this.
You can save everyone, eh? Hey, Dad.
Hmm?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, watch your feet.
Shall we demonstrate what happens if you step on a blue bottle?
No, stop it.
We've always patrolled as a family. I guess because we had one ka'awale, so we haven't had much choice in that department.
Obvious reason as a mum, knowing that there's a whole bunch of, you know, head concussion stuff in contact sport was, I guess, a big fear, and just knowing that they won't have so much contact in the ocean, which is definitely one of the reasons why it made sense, you know, from a well-being perspective. It was really important. Also just giving them a different experience.
Laju and I are refreshing. The refresher is our lifeguard certificate, so every season, every guard has to refresh and do this run, as well as like a theory test.
They're a little bit rusty, but you know, some skills they'll never forget. But no, Josh and I are pretty much the regulars. We get over here to get away from all the fouls at home. Oh my God.
Our youngest is saved 30-year-old.
A few weeks ago, just after I did my refresher. Kind of scary, but in front of them, you just have to keep calm, tell them they're safe and everything, yeah.
Came home really, really, really proud. And his dad was just beaming because it's the reason why we got into it.
Okay, we're done.
Oh! Yeah, I'd love to see way more Pacific families involved with surf lifesaving. I feel mate, mate out, yeah.
What up, Freshies? This is General Fiyah, and you're watching Fresh.
Like what? Dad knows everything.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Let's see here.
Talofa Aiga, Amoska Kaili, and you're watching Fresh. I shouldn't point. Sorry, that's so rude.
Well, well, well. It's 3:15 p.m. and Nisi Golden Child La Bisi isn't here yet. Hello?
Maloa Pito. Adrian here calling on behalf of Nisiloa Meleanga, Fui Fui Moi Moi Nofo Maya Bonifacio. Am I speaking to Mr. Bonifacio Sr., please?
Yes, hey, Spike.
Malo Alpito. How are you, Mr. Bonifacio?
Nisi's not here at the moment.
Nisi is why I'm calling you.
I told you Nisi's not here at the moment.
No, Mr. Bonifacio. I'm telling you that I have Nisi here with me.
Do you have her?
Yes. I'm just about to award Nisi the most prestigious...
Look, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you now, I don't have money. Because my dad has my card. But what I do have is a very particular set of skills. If you don't let her go, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will crush you under my belly. And the nominees for the best actor goes to me. try and be that golden child right now. You're late. It's 3:18 p.m. and that means you're late. And also your boyfriend called saying that you're held hostage or something. So I'm gonna tell Dad on you.
You know what? I'm telling Dad on all of this.
Hey, you act like I didn't have stuff to tell Dad too.
Like what? Dad knows everything.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Let's see here. What about that time that you were showering in the shower?
Oh, stop it! You're going overboard. You're just jealous that I'm prettier, smarter, and I'm a better thriller than you'll ever be.
More like Thriller.
Yeah.
You think you're better than singing than me? Let my people go. Sorry.
Shame and don't buts. I'm gonna go tell Dad that you've ruined my career because you threatened my school principal, and now, because of you, he's reversed the scholarship and given it to someone else.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm on my knees begging for your forgiveness. I'm sorry. I'll do anything. I'll do it. Or
sing anything?
Yes, just please don't tell Dad. Everything to your liking, Missy. Princess Missy.
Just one more thing.
No! Kia ora, my name is Theo Ferrer and you're watching Fresh.
It's important to know the meaning behind the symbols of our traditional tatau so that you have a deeper understanding of the significance of what you're wearing. Each mamanu or each pattern has its own meaning and story behind it. Talofa lava, my name is Tyler Vai'au, and this is a cultural refresh on the patterns of Samoan tatau from my perspective as a New Zealand-born Samoan tatau practitioner. The malu is special to us as Samoans because it connects us to our identity. It's significant that it has been passed down through generations. You know, these tatau are literally thousands of years old and we are wearing the marks of our ancestors. Whaangongo, the frigate bird, is a symbol of navigation and guidance, and the ngongo is known to always return home to land. The atualoa is the centipede, and it's a symbol of strength because it's poisonous and it will hurt you. It's also known to care for its extended family, so it's about commitment to family as well. Vai ali is the headrest, and it's the V. There's the legs of the headrest, and the legs of the headrest obviously support the head. So it relates to the structure of Samoan society and our role within that, and supporting the head of your Aiga, of your village, and your knowing your role in that context. The malu diamond is so multi-layered and rich in meaning. So it's the diamond shape that sits at the back of the knee, and it's what the whole female tatau is named for. So malu meaning to protect or shelter. It has connotations of protection for the person wearing it, but it's also about the female role within the family to protect or shelter the ainga, but also the ngafa and the knowledge and what's passed on to the next generation. The alualu, the jellyfish pattern, is this pattern here that looks a little bit like an asterisk maybe. And it's a symbol of femininity and feminine strength. It's used a lot in the malu. You see it down the sides of the legs, and it relates to how a jellyfish is soft, but also poisonous. So that symbol of underlying strength again as well. Wear your culture with pride, for these are the marks of our ancestors. Whawhetai lava.
Talofa lava, I'm Big Brother D representing Dawnraid.
What's up? This is Big YDNA representing Dawnraid every day, and you're watching Fresh.
Fresh. Is the term fob PC or is it more problematic?
Do people actually find this stuff offensive?
Bulavanaka na Yavangu, Emmeline Pickering Martin, and you're watching Fresh.
Kia ora, and welcome to our new panel show, where if you've got something to say, you better say it with your chest.
Today we're gonna start with rapid fire. Someone's come to my brain.
Let's start from the very beginning. When Fresh first started, it was about celebrating the fresh off the boat way of speaking.
And then I went to the shop.
Uncle Sam's, Aiga and Ra and How Fresh Are You have inspired many films, TV shows and new social media influencers, but has the fresh off the boat sale. I think it's an art form we can all agree that art is so subjective.
Yeah.
And when we are using dialogue or mannerisms in these kind of ways, we do dance a fine line between self-appreciation and self-celebration and self-degradation as well.
Yeah.
So we need to ask ourselves and unpack when is too much, when do we need to reel it back a little bit, and when is it okay to push that envelope? And I suppose it comes down to what our taste levels are as well.
Taste levels, and I also think what is happening in a culture. Like, I think sometimes we laugh so much to hide a lot of issues.
I think that we do a disservice to ourselves, and you know, so whereas the conversation a lot of the time is someone's backing us into a corner, putting us into a box, we actually do it first. We do it first voluntarily, that they don't have to.
I don't think it's fair to put the complete blame on us. There is definitely, you know, the context of colonialism and assimilation that we've been kind of forced to go through, which informs that humour, and that's definitely something we have to take into account, because, you know, we wouldn't have that humour if we weren't actually forced to speak English.
I moved to New Zealand in 2014. I had a very, very strong accent back then. And there were specific people who could speak perfectly fine, and those were the same people who had put me down for not being able to speak English. Now, I look at those people who speak English perfectly fine and were teasing people for not being able to speak English, suddenly want to benefit from my narrative.
So Fiyah, you are our resident creator of content, and your videos on TikTok go off. Now, you do utilise some of the nuances that we are discussing today. Would you care to elaborate from your point of view and from your experience what that has been like?
First of all, for me growing up, you know, just being around like South Auckland and all that stuff, we basically grew up around the whole fresh accent, and it's something that we're just used to. As well as that, we start picking off things that we find funny, but it's just for a laugh for those that really can relate to it.
Where's the catfish? Now you eat it for my lunching.
I guess there's only ever been one person that has actually said, why are you doing this? It's like really bad. But that's when it came to me like, oh, like, do people actually find this stuff offensive?
For me, the big problem is when you get people who don't have any real interaction with the culture, with the people, with the context, and then they just take it as, oh, this is what you guys are like.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, excuse me, no, that's not, you know, and that's where I think the conversation needs to go more. For us and amongst ourselves, I think, you know, it's a great thing to be able to enjoy this art form. I love how you put it, it's an art form.
There's also a hardness and a softness as well. The softness because it's something that, like, you know, culturally we can all draw familiarity from, but when it's weaponized against us or used to portray us in very stigmatized
or back us into a corner.
Yeah, exactly. That's when it starts to feel a bit different. When you're the butt of the joke.
My husband does this thing where he mocks himself before anybody can mock him. It's almost like a survival mechanism.
Yeah. To coping.
To cope, absolutely. And to heal through that laughter and allow those things to arise. But you're totally right. Don't do it on behalf of somebody else.
I think fundamentally the idea of form comes from seeing Pacific accents as less than. So if we are able to reclaim the word, and I'm not saying that we may be able to do it, then it tells us that actually Pacific accents are not less than, and we shouldn't look down on them, and we shouldn't take this narrative that has been forced onto us. However, I also realize that the term fob has so many negative connotations for people.
Absolutely.
It has, for some people, a lot of pain, trauma. Yeah. So I wouldn't actually walk into a room of Pacific people and just throw that word out.
Sup, fobs?
But these things are too nuanced and too difficult to kind of just draw a line in.
Is the term fob PC, or is it more problematic?
I have no problem using it, but that's just because I grew up with it. And we sort of just claimed it back.
I draw the line. Like, I will not accept anybody calling me a fob.
If someone fobs out, I'm gonna let you know that you fobbed out. I'm gonna have a laugh. And I'm gonna expect you to laugh as well because you know you fobbed out too.
I don't want a white person to call me a fob, like, ever. I don't want anybody that's outside of the Pacifica region to ever call me a fob. That's my 2 cents.
We can say it.
You can't.
But you can't.
That's all the time we have for today, Fresh Fam.
Be sure to come back next week.
That's all the time we have for you, Freshies. Hope you liked it. See you next time.
And we'll see you guys next episode. Aloha, Freshies. What's up?
Kia ora. Tara palava, everybody.
It's Worldwide Fresh.
From the people, for the people.
Tonight's show called No Fear is about having no fear and being yourself.
Make sure you guys come back next week for more.
Fresh!